Well, hello everyone, Argsy here. Welcome back to Argsy Farms here on the Oaks Realistic multiplayer server. It's been a few weeks since we've been around. Well, when I say been around, it's a few weeks since we've had the opportunity to record some content. We have been on the server and we have been very busy. The last video we had was in August, so we've been through September, October and part of November in that time, and there has been a lot going on. But we're going to go get some grass mowed. We're doing our 12th contract for the season, and there's a reason why we're doing this one so late. It is a silage contract, not one I'd normally want to take on, but we're looking at buying a new field, and if we do this contract for this particular NPC, we're going to get a little bit more of a discount on the field we want to buy. So we've targeted this one in particular, and we're going to go and get it done. We might also, while we've got all the equipment out, take the chance to just take one final cut off our grass field. It is at growth stage 2 of 3, so it's not that well advanced. It hasn't been fertilized or anything like that, but we have a unseasonable patch of good weather for the next wee while to be able to get a little bit of silage taken off, and that'll just make sure we can get through winter with the cattle. I think we're going to be fine. We should be good, but again, I also have some plans to pick up some more cattle in the not too distant future as well. So a few things going on, but talking a little bit more about what we've been doing here on the server. Our canola's all been harvested, and we have sold all of that off to Bovine. He's converting that into some canola oil. So I think we've got about $70,000 off him, hence the $156,000 we now have in our bank account. We did have a supply contract for a little bit of silage to sell over at the BGA, so I got on and did that, and we also took a full trailer load and sold a little bit of that at the same time because the price was looking good. And we've done a few contracts. We did a what was the contract we did? It was a sunflower harvest actually on the field we're looking at buying. So there's been plenty going on to keep us busy. Just trying to think if there was anything else we got done. Maybe some silage, but yeah, we've been keeping ourselves out of trouble in the meantime and keeping things ticking over here on the farm. So excited to carry on, excited to get into winter and be able to put our feet up just a little bit and relax just a bit. We've missed some windows for planting. I wanted to get some oilseed radish planted in as a cover crop in a couple of our fields, but that was only able to be planted up to the end of October, so we're going to be into spring for planting all our crops, and we're not going to get the cover crop bonus this season. But them's the breaks, it is what it is, and we'll just make do. But anyhow, heading on down to field number 72, it's not too much further up here. We're doing a silage contract to sell over at the BGA, so we will go down, get started on some mowing, and then we'll be over windrowing and baling before you know it. So this is field 72 just in here on our left. It's a triangular field, so it's going to be a little bit of an awkward one to do. Just looking at the grass, actually, it's not, well, no, it is looking like it's full grown. I thought it was looking a little bit underdone, but obviously just the light. So we'll get everything unfolded. Should be our rear mower going down as well, is it? There we go. That'll be it there. That beacon light turned off. We don't need that on anymore. And we're going to jump in, just get this started. So looking forward to getting it done. It'd be good to get this finished off as our very final contract. A little bit of a labour intensive one I would have liked to have avoided, but like I said, we're trying to get the work done for this person so that we can make a little bit more of a discount off the contract. But why is that telling us we don't have access to this land? I'm sure I've accepted the contract. Right, there we go. I hadn't accepted the contract, hadn't taken that on yet. So there we are, we're up and underway with some mowing. So jump into a time lapse, sit back, relax, enjoy. We'll catch you when we're done. that's both fields mowed. I've shown you a little bit of our field, but mainly focusing on the contract field. Our field, like I said, doesn't have a huge amount of grass on it, but it's probably the last chance we're going to get before March, April, May to take another cut off it, so sometime until then. Which does mean the mowers have done their dash for this year, and it's time that they go and get put away. So we'll give them a good wash, make sure they're nice and clean before we put them in the shed, and then we'll go and get them packed away nice and neatly. They haven't been too damaged actually. I think I repaired them a couple of months ago, maybe last time we went mowing. I think I might have stopped in and repaired them at the workshop, so they're actually in pretty good nick and should be good to go back like that. But we'll get them unhooked and then we're going to hook ourselves up to the windrower. I'm going to keep on using the 7718 here, mainly because it's just faster on the roads, and we've got a bit of travelling to do to go between, but I'll just give it a little bit, get rid of some of that loose grass. Right, there we go, that's all done. Get that put back over here and we'll hop back in, get ourselves all hooked up, and we'll see you probably down at the field. I'm not going to make you follow me all the way around today. We'll just focus on getting the jobs done, so we'll catch you when we're back down there. So we've made it down here to the field. Like I said, we just come straight down here with the windrower, and we're just going to jump straight in to getting this all rode up. We'll have to, well, we're not going to be able to use the same GPS course because I used the GPS down in the other field and I didn't save it, but it doesn't matter. We might actually save it this time. So we have the baler down here. We make sure we get the right one. Otherwise, I could actually put the baler on the back of the trailer and bring that down with the other Massey with the front loader and everything, because we are going to need that down here soon to load the bales up. So maybe we do everything in this one field, get it all done, and then we'll worry about our field a little bit later. The focus can be on getting this done and getting this contract complete. Now, to address a little bit of an inconsistency, well, no, I'm not going to say an inconsistency. Some people have commented about the realism of the grass and going straight from mowing to windrowing and everything like that. I recognise that you're not going to mow silage at 8 o'clock in the morning in November and be windrowing it up and baling it an hour later. But being a multiplayer server and fitting in around time framing, being able to get on to do these tasks isn't always able to sort of follow those true realism when it comes to baling and things like that. So here we are windrowing and doing what we can to get this done. So I'm sure you'll all understand why that is. But we're just going to carry on, get our GPS set up along here again. I'm just going to see if I can spot where the straightest part of the field was. It's not quite perfectly straight along there, but I reckon just look down right about there is probably a pretty good spot. So we'll throw a GPS course down and we'll just carry on with getting this field done as well. Well, there's the windrowing done in this field. Now, like I said at the start, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to head back up to the farm and grab the other tractor, the trailer, the baler, bring it all down in one go, and then we can get this field all finished off before we head over to the other one. It made sense to do it while we had the mowers, because obviously with the front and rear mower we had to take them off and free them up to get this tractor free to do the baling. But now we're in a position where one more tractor down here, which we will need. We'll need to bring the front loader and everything down, and we need both tractors for doing the delivery in the end. So it makes sense to bring it down. So we'll park this up just down here, get it all unhooked in a appropriate position where it's not going to be in the way, and then we'll go and grab the baler. Just got back here to grab the trailer and forgot I'd loaded it all up with seed. We'd been down to the store. It was one of the other tasks we did when we were selling some bales down at the BGA. We went down to the store and stocked up on our seed supplies for spring. So I need to take all these off before we can get the trailer down to the field. Just getting the warning up there. Dazed is logged in and he's processing his potatoes. There you go, he's giving me a little sorry for that. He's one of those little things where the warning affects everyone on the server. That's not to worry though. Right, we'll carry on, we'll get this all unloaded and then head on down and get baler on the back as well. We've got to get the weight that's on the back here now on the back so we can pick up the bales easily enough, and then we'll be into it. We've juggled everything around and we've got the baler and the weight there loaded up. Funnily, when I disconnected the weight, it actually attached the baler to the back of the weight there, so at least it means when we get to the other end we'll be able to pull it off. But that should be all strapped down and not going anywhere. Now hopefully the little 5S doesn't have too many issues pulling it. It's a bit of a load for it, but just make sure we get our lights on there and we will head on down and get this into the field and start baling. So that's everything unloaded down here. We made it safely, no issues, no dramas, nothing to worry about, no warnings from traffic cops or anything like that. So we are going to get straight into the baling. Of course we should still have the GPS course from the Windrowing, which will help us once we get into that, but let's just hop down about here, get things lowered down, turned on, and just crack into it. Shame we can't make any bigger bales than what we've got, but it is what it is. It's the one limitation on this baler is the size of the bales with silage. I think, what are they, 150 centimetre bales, so 5,000 litres. We're just about to get our first one out there. So we'll let that get wrapped, it'll drop, and then start getting wrapped again. Obviously the net first and then the plastic, and we'll just carry on. So, see you when we're finished. fingers crossed we can get one more bale out of this pass, but that's gone pretty well. Looking across there, we've got a good amount of bales off this. No doubt there'll be enough to satisfy the contract. What'll be interesting is to see whether we have enough to take some back to the yard or possibly sell when we deliver them. So there we go, we did manage to get another one, and even a little bit of grass that's left over. We'll be able to pick that up in the baler, and we'll take that with us down to our own field. That converted into one more bale, but yeah, that's gone pretty well actually. Interesting, and as always, you know, these passes in the middle didn't feel quite so bad as the passes around the outside in terms of how often I was stopping and having to unload and things like that. But here we go. I've also managed to try and put a whole lot of the bales very close to each other, so it makes it a little bit easier for loading, which is what we're going to get into next. So here we go, that's done. Turn that off, lift the pickup, we'll fold the baler up, go get things parked up and switch tractors over, grab the weight, everything like that, and then we'll be off and loading. Alright, we're all set up and ready to start getting some bales stacked. You might notice time has moved on a little bit from when we finished the baling. We got called away, we had to go and do some other things. So we are back here now and getting this all tidied up and hopefully finished off. So I'm going to try and pick up two at a time. It seems to have worked the other day when I was doing it, so we'll just have to make sure we can handle the weight. It's a little bit of a stretch, but it's only just going to handle it, isn't it? We'll see how we go. We have to drop them off and just do one at a time, we will, but certainly if we can pick up two and move them around like that, it will make things a whole lot easier. There we go, get that one on there. And carry on. So we'll jump into another bit of a time lapse. These are going up to the BGA, so we will get up there and sell them. We have to use the oh, and that one's stuck. We have to use the telehandler that's up there. The BGA has its own telehandler to unload these into the sell point. So we'll go up there and get that all sorted, and then we'll just carry on and get this done. Not sure if we're going to manage to get back into our own field now after all of that prep, but we'll see how we go. This is the priority though, getting this contract done and finished off. There we go, first 20 bales on. I was trying to do a tally up when I was running around, but there's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. There's exactly 20 left, so there's exactly 2 loads for us, which works out well. I was trying to figure out whether we might have to stack one layer higher or not, but we will stick with what we've got here and see how we go. So we're going to head on up now. I'm going to do a double check because I'm trying to figure out which way the best way to the BGA is. Probably left out of this field. Yep, and indeed, so we're just down here. If we head left along here, we'll be able to go all the way up here to the BGA. You can tell that that is our sell point because it's got the exclamation mark there on it. So we are heading in the right direction. Right, heads on, or beacon lights on, and we will carry on up the road and go and get these unloaded. Right, well I think this is our unload point here, so I'm just going to get those all unstrapped. I think I might have actually seen some on the back started disappearing. Yeah, one on the other side has. That's good. So that went against the contract. It must have, because we didn't get any money for it. So we're just going to jump up here into the Scorpion, and we're just going to give them a shove. Push them across, and that should help them get into the sell point. The problem is, it's just a little bit too low. So sitting up there on the trailer, they don't quite get detected. So, hop up in here, we'll get that started up, and spin around and just get shoving. Bit of an ungraceful end to the bales, but The result is the result, and it's what they need to do. So just give these a gentle little shove. Hopefully we have enough strength to be able to push them off. No, we might have to look at doing this a different way. There we go. Not the most graceful way to unload bales, but going to work all the same. Right, let's get these last ones unloaded and we'll get back down to the field and carry on with the next load. Alright, there we go. It did pop up and say the contract was about 87% complete, so we might actually have a look at the contract screen, see if it tells us how many more bales we need to deliver, and then we'll decide whether we're going to keep them, bring them back, sell them, or what we're going to do. We'll just get that folded up, turn that off, and go and take a look at that in the cab. So there we go. We've got, only have to bring up 8,300 more litres, which is 4,000 litre bales. We've made 5,000 litre bales, so we actually needed to bring up 2. Gosh, if I knew it was that close, I wouldn't even have bothered doing 2 loads. I would have just brought 1 load up and then done the second one. But let's just take a quick look. In fact, we probably won't be able to sell them, because for us, they'll probably just sell as grass. Grass silage at the moment, it's actually a good price, 168, 171. That's pretty much the maximum price we'd get for silage, so it wouldn't be a bad time to sell some. Like I said, I don't think we're going to be able to. We'll see. We'll go and load up. We'll bring what we've got left down here. There's no point just bringing a couple and then going back and loading up. We might as well bring them all, unload what we need, decide what we're going to do with the rest, and we can go from there. So back here, back loading. Not much to it. We're just going to get it done. I won't bother boring you with watching, but we'll get this one all loaded up, and then we'll be back down to the BGA to see if we can just unload 3 bales. It's a bit more delicate with it than the way we unloaded last time. Unload the 3 bales, get those sold, complete the contract, and then decide whether we unload the rest to sell them, or whether, because they're going to be grass for us rather than silage, whether we get them back to the yard and put them in our shed. So get these loaded up and we'll see you down there. There we are, last couple of bales loaded onto the trailer. I'm got to admit, I might trumpet a little bit here, but I'm pretty happy with that load. It's been quite easy to do today for some reason, but that one bale's sticking out a little bit, but I didn't even have to strap the back ones down, and they all stayed where I wanted them to. But we will throw a strap over them and get on down to the BGA and have a look at getting a few of them unloaded. Now Dazed is on the server, he's going to pop down and give me a hand, and we're going to have a look at this telehandler to see why they're not grabbing these bales, because he thinks it should be able to grab them and unload them. So yeah, it might be a little bit of an issue with that one, but let him have a look at it and he can decide if we're going to replace it or change it or something like that. Anyhow, we'll see you back down at the BGA. So here we are back with the load. Now Dazed is down here, as you can see. He's going to have a look with that telehandler and see why these forks might not be working. Let's just get ourselves in here. We have to let them know we only want to unload 4 of them. What I was thinking I might do actually is lower the ramp down on the back and take the back 4 rather than taking the whole lot. So we'll see what happens if we do that, but we'll make sure that he does that. We'll have a communication with him and we'll be back soon. Right, well, problem solved. It was because the Oaks Council wasn't a contractor for me. Didn't have contract access to my farm, so that should fix it. But yeah, we'll just see. Dave's just asking where to empty it, where it needs to go. Alright, and I think this should actually be the last one. I said we needed to do 3. It might actually only be 2 that we needed to do. It is looking like that might just about complete the contract. No, not quite. Must be very, very close. 1 more, I think, should do it. There we go, contract on field 72 finished. So we've now got an extra discount from Zoe, 27%. So we're going to have a look at our field. I think the field we were going to buy was going to be $420,000. So we'll see how much that contract has added to saving us. Alright, and there you go. You can see our contract is 100% complete. All finished. So we will collect that, add an extra $8,000 to our bank account, and the actual added bonus is what that's done for our field we're going to buy. So the field we're looking at up here is field number 31, and if we just have a look in here, you can see down the bottom here it's owned by Zoe Scott, and currently, I'm just going to move this so you can see, currently we get a 27% discount from Zoe for this field. So before we started that contract we were having to pay $421,000, so just by doing that contract we've actually saved an extra $17,000 on the field purchase, which is fantastic. Add the extra $8,000, almost a $25,000 payment towards the field just for doing that contract. So it has made it well and truly worth it. We are going to have to take a bit of a loan. You can see we've got $165,000 in the account, so we can't afford to buy it outright. We do have our dried wheat sitting with Mark Haythornthwaite TW Productions at the moment. They are drying that for us and storing it until it is ready to sell, and I think my rough maths has suggested we might get about $110,000 from that wheat, which is will go a long way to pay for some of that field as well. But I'm quite excited about that. Anyhow, we're going to head on back down to the yard. We're going to go and get these unloaded and put away in our shed, but I'm going to wrap things up there for this episode. I will be getting in and doing the rest of the baling for ourselves, and I'll let you know in the next one how much we got off that. But for today, we are all done here on the Oaks. As always, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I'll catch you in the next one.